Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome, I'm Chef Benny, and welcome back to Reheated History, the only show on the internet where a 1,000-year-old vegetarian dish is still the undisputed MVP of a modern household budget. As a history teacher, I'm always looking for new and delicious ways to connect with the past. What did the common medieval peasant eat? What fueled the Roman gladiator? Did colonial Americans have a favorite comfort food? The answers aren't in textbooks, they're in the kitchens, farms, and fire pits of history. So, each week we'll cook our way through time, one humble, hopefully hilarious, and surprisingly tasty dish at a time. Because the best way to understand history is with our stomachs. This is Reheated History. Times are tough. Between car payments, the absolute audacity of the grocery store, and trying to remember which of the 7 streaming services we're currently paying for, we're all looking for a way to stretch a dollar. Today we're traveling back to the medieval Middle East for a dish that knows exactly how to stretch a dollar and has been doing so since the era of the Crusades. We're looking at MUJADARA. Now, in the Arab world, there is an old legendary saying that perfectly captures the status of a meal. A hungry man would sell his soul for a dish of MUJADARA. Historically, it was designed as the dish of the poor, but don't let that moniker fool you. This wasn't just a survival mush designed to keep your stomach from rumbling, like some of the other recipes I found. It was a brilliant culinary masterpiece born in the Levant. While the wealthy elites and the local sultans were flaunting their riches by overcomplicating cuts of lamb and wild game, the working class were busy perfecting the art of the humble lentil. This dish is so ancient that its earliest recorded recipe appears in the oldest surviving Arabic cookbook in existence, the 1226 AD manuscript titled, and forgive my Arabic, Kitab al-Tabikh, which translates to the Book of Dishes, compiled by the scribe Muhammad bin Hassan al-Baghdadi. In that original 13th century recipe, the dish was actually cooked with meat broth and lamb, but as it traveled out of the royal ports and into the broader landscape of history, the common people realized the real heroes of the dish weren't the expensive proteins. The magic belonged entirely to the pairing of the grain and onion. It became a quintessential vegetarian staple of the global working class. To understand how a dish this simple could sustain an entire civilization for a millennium, you have to look at the world it was born in. Before the first Crusader ever stepped foot in the Holy Land, the Middle East was the undisputed intellectual, scientific, and culinary center of the globe. During the Islamic Golden Age, the Abbasid Caliphate transformed historic hubs like Baghdad and Cairo into massive crossroads of trade and innovation. While much of Europe was struggling through the Dark Ages, this region was pioneering advanced agricultural irrigation, writing medical encyclopedias, and developing highly sophisticated multi-ethnic food culture. They used the trade routes of the Silk Road to bring in vibrant spices, making premium ingredients like high-quality olive oils and aromatic seeds widely accessible to everyday street vendors. And that brings us to the actual name, MUJADARA. In Arabic, the word literally translates to pockmarked or spotted. It's a piece of classic medieval dark humor, actually. The visual descriptor comes from the way the dark brown lentils look scattered across the pale bed of rice or bulgur wheat, resembling smallpox marks. It's definitely not the most appetizing marketing campaign, but I promise you, it tastes way better than smallpox feels. Our recreation today bridges the gap between al-Baghdadi's 1226 text and modern Levantine home cooking. To make this medieval masterpiece, you only need 5 basic pantry staples. You're going to need 1 cup of brown or green lentils. Do not use red lentils. Red lentils break down completely into a soup, and we need these to hold their shape and structure. We aren't making mushy Middle Eastern oatmeal. 1 cup of coarse bulgur wheat or rice. Historically, bulgur wheat was the true commoner's choice in the field, which is what I went with. Rice was the more expensive import back then, although both are heavily used today. 4 large yellow onions. You heard me right. 4 whole onions. We're gonna slice these down and caramelize them until they're incredibly dark, sweet, and almost burnt. You're gonna use a generous pour of high-quality olive oil, about 1/4 cup, cumin, and salt. Step 1 is the lentils. Thoroughly rinse your lentils and place them into a pot with 3 cups of water and a heavy pinch of salt. You're gonna bring it to a boil and then drop it to a simmer. You're gonna want to cook these for about 15 to 20 minutes until they're tender to the tooth, but still retain a distinct bite. Now, once they hit that perfect sort of al dente stage, drain them and set them aside. Step 2 is the onions. This is the absolute soul and secret of the entire dish. You're going to get a wide skillet over medium-high heat and pour a generous pool of olive oil, which is roughly 1/4 cup. I went a little over. In the 1200s, using a heavy hand of olive oil wasn't just a choice of flavor. The oil actually acted as a natural preservative to stop food from spoiling in the intense desert heat. Drop your mountain of sliced onions directly into that shimmering oil. We're going to cook these down for a solid 25 to 30 minutes. Stir occasionally. They're going to pass right through that translucent stage, past the golden brown stage, and push all the way into the deep mahogany brown color. You want the edges of the dark, crispy, and sweet. The natural sugars in the onion are going to caramelize and concentrate, creating an explosion of smoky sweetness. Once they're beautiful, scoop the onions out of the pan with a slotted spoon, but don't discard that oil. That oil is very important because step 3 is the merge. Along with a tablespoon of ground cumin, you're going to toast the grains directly in the hot onion oil for about 60 seconds until it smells absolutely incredible. Now you're going to fold in your cooked lentils, 2 cups of fresh water, a half a teaspoon of salt, and about a half of your caramelized. All right, here's my mujadara. I'm kind of excited about this. I love caramelized onions. I added some parsley on top because I saw some modern versions do that. And I thought, well, that probably tastes pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. There are some modern versions out there where you add all sorts of different spices like turmeric and things like that. I try to stick to the basic old-fashioned recipe, but you're welcome to do what you like. Mujadara. Yeah, no, it's really good. Yeah, that's really good. Actually, I like the onion a lot. That is like the feature. The Greek yogurt is an excellent choice because it kind of cools it down. What's funny is I had my oldest daughter try this, and she said the cumin makes it taste like chili. And I can't get that out of my head. It does. It kind of tastes like Middle Eastern chili. Throw some kidney beans in here. You got yourself some chili. It's pretty good. I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. I would make this again. This is a really good dish and cheap. I made a whole pot of this for about $8. But as you know, on Reheated History, my vote is only half the battle. The real judges are my family, and if they approve of this ancient Levantine flavor bomb, we have an ultimate budget-saving weeknight staple for the rotation. If they don't, well, we'll be ordering pizza and forced to re-examine my entire economic theory. I'll post their final scores in the video description. We look past the grand histories of the medieval world, past the battles of the Crusades and the lavish displays of royal excess. We find a much more enduring truth. Great flavor always outlasts high status in the long run. The common people took the absolute simplest items in their pantries, mastered the chemistry of caramelization, and built a dish that has outlived the empires that tried to govern them. You don't need a palace to eat like a king. Well, thanks for watching Reheated History. Stay curious, stay hungry, and remember, next time your budget feels tight, just grab a bag of lentils, a mountain of onions, and make history taste incredible. I'll see you next Sunday. Okay. This is okay. It's okay.